Welcome everyone to our Zoom session with Murphy McGuire. Murphy, as you know, right out of the box, I like to ask someone's origin story. How did you come from being just a kid who liked sports, like I think everyone that's on this call probably was, to deciding to pursue certification, get certified, and ultimately have a player drafted in your first year as a rookie independent agent?
Well, first off, thanks for having me on, everybody. It's good to see some faces here. I hope that this is going to be informative. But to kind of jump right in and answer that question, that's a long-winded answer, as you know. So I'll kind of dumb it down and keep it as short as I can. It's funny, when I was a kid growing up, I played sports. I always loved sports. I'm sure everybody's got that story. Went to Texas Tech for my undergrad. It's funny, when I knew pretty early, like it was something that I really wanted to pursue. But as a kid, and I stress the word kid, you don't really know how to do it. I mean, I wasn't somebody that was segued into the business as a young person, like some people are, not many, but some. I just kind of, when I got done with tech, I came home here in Houston and got into law school, went to law school. And again, my goal and my dream and my ambition was to be an agent. That's what I wanted to do. But again, it was kind of like, yeah, we'll figure it out. When in reality, the plan situation there was, it was probably a little bit left to be desired, and I'm probably putting that lightly. But, Neil, as you know, because you were heavily involved in this, a girl that I was dating at the time, we were at church, and your wife and her got to talking. And, I come to find out that you are you and that you run an NFL consulting firm that does what you do. And I said, well, crap, that kind of sounds like a good deal there, And so, intro to you and kind of jumped right into it. I mean, that was that was the amazing part, was how quickly I felt like it was like, okay, this is the route, that I know I have to take. This is the path that I know that I have to take. And so I did. And I jumped into it. I went to all-star games with you and kind of learned the business that way, befriended a ton of agents. And unlike some, who might've said this ain't for me, I went the opposite. I fed off that. I continued to realize this is exactly what I want to do. And so I pursued it. And so, we look back now, that was 2012 from the get-go until now. It's almost 10 full years. Which is unbelievable. I mean, it really is. I was just talking to somebody the other day about that it's going on 10 years that I've been doing this, and that I've been in the NFL industry, and it's pretty unbelievable. But, that was kind of organically from where, hey, I know I want to do this, to, hey, I'm actually kind of doing this, to, okay, now I'm certified, and now I've got to really get with it and start recruiting players. And that's kind of what it was, I mean, I took the bar, as you know, in 14, passed that. So I actually practiced law for a while I was also simultaneously, I'm an NFL agent. But now for 4 or 5 years, I guess I've been I've been blessed to be a full-time agent. So, yeah, I mean, look, that's a very quick abbreviated version, but that's kind of how it happened for me.
Murphy, you've told me many times, and you alluded to the fact that you worked in law initially, but you've told me many times, if you're going to do this, you got to go all out. You got to go all in. Notwithstanding the fact that you had a job early on, you had that intention. Why was that, and what spurred you to believe that about this industry?
Well, I think, again, the issue sometimes, as far as this industry goes, is it's a tough industry to make money in. I mean, it is, as far as just, getting a player, having a player, turn into something, obviously turn into a guy that makes a roster, goes from year 1 to year 2 to year 5 to et cetera, et cetera. It takes some time. It really does. You've got to really dig down deep and believe, hey, I can do this. And that's something that I've never lacked confidence. Neil, you know that. I always knew that I could do this, and I always believed that I could do this. And so I just went out and did it. Again, I had my side hustle as an attorney. I did that. That was not really what I wanted to do. But I did it, because I knew that I had to. But, just understanding, hey, there's this bigger goal over here. You've got to scratch and claw and do every single thing that you can to get there. Whether it's, grinding and driving 14 hours to see a kid only to come back, the next day, whatever it is, you have to do it. And I knew that's what I had to do and did, I lived that and still do. But, that I think is probably the best way to answer that question, is just kind of understanding that, digging deep, understanding yourself, looking inside, saying, hey, and it sounds kind of cliche, but you've really got to understand, and maybe that's some of the stuff that we can flesh out tonight, but that you really got to understand what entails going all in, not dipping your toe in the water and saying, hey, I kind of wanted, this isn't that kind of profession. If you want to do this, you got to go all in and do it. And that's what I learned very quickly. I kind of had a feeling anyway, just looking at the people that I kind of, I don't want to say, more or less kind of looked up to, people in the industry that you knew, hey, they've done this a long time. There's a reason why they are there. I want to be like that someday. They dedicate everything to this. This is their job. This is their life. I am no different. That's what I do. So, like I said, I think that's probably the best way to answer that question, Neil.
Murphy, you were with me, I think, for 3 years. And during that time, you got to see the warts and all of the industry. Why were you able to say, I accept those challenges and I'm going to take them on, rather than saying, there's got to be a better, easier way to do this? I mean, why did you respond the way you did?
Well, it's a great question. Look, any industry that you're in, you're going to have, you got to kind of look at it as saying there's going to be necessary evils, right? There's going to be things that you're going to have to combat. There's going to be things that you're going to have to just kind of deal with. And so that was kind of my mentality with dealing with that, is saying, hey, you know what, if we're going to do this, those things are going to exist. So you're just going to have to find a way to get past it, or to work with it, work around it, however you want to phrase it. But I think that's probably the most logical reason, is just kind of knowing and understanding, hey, those things exist. They're not going anywhere. So you just kind of take that and try and turn it into a positive, lemons to lemonade, I guess. I mean, that's the best way to kind of look at it, I guess, at least from my perspective. And I think that's, just another reason why, I've not really had issues with that. I've just always kind of said, hey, those are things you're going to have to deal with.